Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the Evermore YouTube channel. It's Chris straight on with a post-match reaction to Newcastle United's second win in 2 games, 2-1 win against Nottingham Forest at the City Ground. My God, that game has aged me about 15 years, I think. I can't believe that we got the win in the end. I was getting ready to come on here and rant and get pissed off about the fact that we couldn't win this game. But thankfully, the lads have pulled it out of the bag and we've won the game. Going to get stuck right into the game in a second. Just before we do, little reminder, if you haven't checked us out before, please consider subscribing, smash that button, come and join us. Loads of content on Evermore, all free. And we just love talking about this amazing club right now. And what the hell isn't good to talk about Newcastle United right now? We are 5th in the table. We are 47 points, 1 point behind Spurs with a game in hand. We are sitting pretty for breaking that top 4, and I really think we can do it if we keep grinding out wins like this. We're live tonight. Jump in the comments, let us know what you guys think about the game as well. We've already got a couple in there. Ian's in already. However, the Toonami, absolutely. Gibbo, we did deserve that, mate. We're going to get stuck right into that in a minute. And Ash is there, the newest member of Evermore. You'll see Ash on the show next week. His heart is pounding through his chest. Good God. I mean, what a game. What an absolute game. We were all over them from start to finish, really. Let's just quickly have a look at the team that started the game. If you didn't check it out already, if you haven't been able to watch the game tonight. So it was unchanged. Obviously, the news that Mickey Almiron was out with a thigh strain. Apparently, he's going to be out for about 3 weeks, I think, which is a real shame. But thankfully, it's happened in the national break. And all the speculation around whether Callum Wilson would play or not, or be on the squad or not. He was on the bench, and we had Alexander Isak in attack. Thank God. Because he was the man today. But yeah, we started the game really well. I think we were pressing Forest. We were struggling to get out of the half. We were playing some beautiful football, playing through the lines. I thought Bruno had Shelvey on toast every single chance that he got. How many fucking fouls did John Joe Shelvey put on Bruno Guimaraes tonight? How has he got out of that game without a yellow card is beyond me. I'm absolutely astounded. There was some X-rated, filthy tackles going in from Nottingham Forest that were going completely unpunished. I thought the ref was really poor. Paul Tierney was really, really poor. I'm going to get onto the disallowed goal in a minute, which was unbelievable as well. And I'm really pissed off with that. I'm obviously buzzing that we've won the game, but I'm pissed off with that disallowed goal. But yeah, we were all over Forest, and then typical of things that have happened for Newcastle of late, they really went in front as well. They get a goal. Even Rolls Royce's stall at times. Sven Botman with a Sunday League pass back to Nick Pope. I don't know what was going on there. Just a total lack of either communication or concentration by the Botman. Dennis reads it well, comes through, nicks the ball. Beautiful finish, to be fair. Wasn't quite as world class as Jamie Carragher was making it sound in the commentary. You would have thought it was a fucking Bergkamp goal, the way Carragher was talking about it. But it was a good finish. They go 1-up, but I'm sitting there fizzing. Everyone's foaming. The crowd was raging. Our own Lee's down there with the famous boy tonight, so he'll be buzzing on the drive back to Scarborough. But yeah, they go in front, totally against everyone in play. We're all over them, battering them, playing some great football, just not taking chances. But we hit the old beans on toast. I think hit the bar a couple of times as well. Just started to look like it wasn't really going to be our night. Starting to wonder what the hell was going on. And then, almost out of nowhere, one of these through passes that was struggling to find somebody finds. I think is it Murphy that crossed the ball? Possibly was Murphy. No, it was Willock. Sorry, Joe Willock gets in. Joe Willock was sensational tonight again. I thought that's a second game in a row where Joe Willock was brilliant, back to his best pace, getting involved. Their player was rattling them all over, who had to go off in the end. It's Yates, their captain, who was a good little player, actually. He was getting right stuck into Willock. But Willock was brilliant. He was just tearing up down the park. He gets the ball across to Alexander Isak, who scores this goal that he's got no real right to score with the poise and the grace that he scores. He shins it in off the post. I mean, it's just an unbelievable, innovative finish. It's the kind of thing you used to see players like Bergkamp, Van Persie, Cantona do. Players with just that little bit of something magic about them that can just change their body shape to score these kind of goals. We've got a player like that now in Alexander Isak, and my God, what a player he is. He looks sharp as hell. Carragher said it so many times in the commentary. He looks so sharp. He's light years ahead of Wilson, absolutely light years ahead of Wilson. I totally agree with you, Ed. Isak is flying. That's 3-2 now. From what was it Kieran Dyer called him? He called him a flop signing. Yeah, right, mate. Okay. We've got Jens in the comments saying Isak, absolutely, what a player, man. Just so he gets us back into the game. 1-1. We go off at half time. I must say, throughout the good football in the first half and throughout the positiveness of Newcastle United, that's a word, positiveness, positive play of Newcastle United, there was one thing that was disappointing, and I'd be interested to hear what you guys say in the comments about this. Alan St-Maximin was utterly shite. He was useless in this game. He looked like he couldn't be arsed. And apparently, Tyndall and Jones were going mental on the sideline, screaming at him because he wasn't carrying through whatever the plans were. But he didn't look like he was interested in beating the man. His touch was dreadful. I think he was wearing fucking Cisco's slippers that he left in the change rooms, probably when he pissed off back to wherever the hell he went. His touch was absolutely stinking. Could not believe it. I agree with Ash. I think he's finished. I think he's absolutely done. Because let me tell you what happened. I'm sure you guys all know. Elliot Anderson comes on off the bench, 20 years old, Whitley Bay boy, my hometown. Hey, Whitley Bay, we love the Bay. He comes on and he was absolutely fucking brilliant. As Mark says there, Anderson completely showed him up. He was wonderful. He was absolutely wonderful. He was buzzing. He was lively. He was showing for the ball. He was wanting to get involved with the play. His touch was good. He was moving the ball quickly through the lines. He was linking up with Willock. He was linking up with Isak. He looked every inch a starter for Newcastle United, not just a squad player, Elliot Anderson. It was funny because Mark had actually said in our chat group, I hope that Anderson takes his chance. And he did. He stood up and he took his chance. I thought it was absolutely sensational. Yeah, Abu agrees with me. Yeah, ASM was utterly garbage. So going back to Elliot Anderson, he's buzzing, he's lively, he's moving around and everything else. I was absolutely screaming with excitement when this happened. So bit of play comes over. Ball comes back, bounces off Longstaff, which I'll come back to him in a minute. Bounces off Longstaff. Isak sitting on the floor, manages to get up and just quick feet, absolutely mint, whips his ball across. And Elliot Anderson rises like a salmon and just nuts it into the back of the net. And it's an absolutely fucking brilliant header for this young lad, who he is really good in the air. He was on loan at Bristol Rovers, as you all know. One of my workmates is a Bristol Rovers fan, and I used to just keep an eye on Elliot Anderson. He was absolutely class. Scored headers and worldies left, right, and centre. Just absolutely class. Even to you too, Graham from Fort Lauderdale, mate. Nice to see you tuned in from such a long way away. But yeah, so he scores this goal. We're all buzzing. The away fans are going absolutely crackers. One of our own has just scored his very first goal for Newcastle United, a cracking, towering header. And then the dreaded VAR comes out, and we're all just sitting, waiting. And then this shithouse Paul Tierney goes over to the screen, looking at the screen, and the longer he looks at the screen, the worse you're thinking the outcome's going to be. Poor Elliot Anderson, his face, he looked like a kid on Christmas Day who's opened a box and not got what he wanted. He's looking just with pure anxiety riddled through his whole young body, bless him. And the longer it goes on, the more you're thinking this is going to get overruled. This is an absolute fucking nightmare. And you look at it again, and he goes back, and I'm struggling to figure out why it's ruled out. Mark kind of gave an explanation in the chat group, because Longstaff is offside, and the minute that the Forest player plays the ball off Longstaff and it ricochets back to Isak on the floor, in the eyes of the referee, Longstaff is involved with the play. He's offside, ergo the goal is disallowed. But it was absolutely, as Mark says there, an absolute fucking shambles. If Tierney thinks that Felipe hasn't played that ball deliberately, then he needs to be sacked, as does the VAR. 100% agree with Mark there. I don't understand this rule. I don't understand it anymore. That it's an absolute fucking joke. How can they get this right in rugby and they can't get it right in football? Why don't they employ the same people who have implemented it in rugby and then implement it in football? You've just robbed a 20-year-old lad of his first goal for his boyhood club. The devastation on the lad's face. What I loved about Anderson the most, though, he looked so pissed off. He spat really angrily, and then he turned around and tried to, pick his teammates up and everything else. That just shows you what kind of a character this young lad is going to be going forward. I think he's going to be a hell of a player for us. I really do. I think he's got all the qualities. He just needs the confidence. And tonight he looked like he had that confidence, but that goal would have just kicked him on to another level. But listen, we didn't need it in the end, thankfully. But if we had needed it and that got disallowed, my God, we would have went absolutely fucking mental at that. We've got a lovely comment there from Abu. Yeah, smashing Abu. Thank you so much, mate. Lovely for the kind words, mate. We really appreciate that. But yeah, going back to the game, just as you say, Sean, VAR's a shambles all season. Some of the decisions that are getting called are just, they're borderline amateur. if you were, running the line of an 8-year-old's bloody 9-a-side game at the weekend, you make a better decision than these people. It's utterly ridiculous, and you're costing people valuable points trying to, stay in the league, trying to get in the top four, trying to win the league. You're robbing young lads of their first goals for their clubs. Just have a word, sort yourselves out. VAR, absolute fucking joke. Could not believe that was disallowed. I was so pissed off for Anderson, but as I said, thankfully we didn't need it in the game. And Anderson picked himself up. Hello to you too, William. Good to see you in the comments, mate. Graham was just saying that he watched the game in Anthony's Pizza Bar with no commentary. We should have come on. We should have done a watch along, mate. You could have watched it along with us, Graham. We haven't done that yet. We have talked about that. Yeah, the tune were brilliant, mate. Absolutely brilliant. And the ref is an absolute disgrace. We've got Daniel in the comments as well. He's saying we had Miggy, Joe Litton, and Gordon missing. And when they're all back, we will be class 100%, mate. I mean, we're missing some big players there. And I agree with you. Anderson was absolutely class. I think, for me, that lad showed there in that little cameo that Eddie Howe would have loved that, by the way. You can imagine Eddie Howe. I saw him on the end of the pitch there, hugging the players and obviously giving the fans the props and everything. I didn't see him get Anderson. He will get a hold of Anderson. He will give him the biggest hug and he will tell him how well he's played. And as Simon's saying there in the comments, 2 seconds, mate. Simon saying in the comments, that Elliot needs a chance. Yeah. Do you know what I think it is with Elliot, Simon, is that he's had his chances, and I don't know whether he's been fully fit or he's been brought into games where the game has maybe been a little bit too much from the pace or the quality or whatever it may be. Like the Liverpool game was shocking for him because obviously he was sacrificed, when Pope got sent off. But that tonight, I think, as you rightly say, mate, bye Maxi. If I'm Alan St. Maximin, I'm sitting on that sideline watching that kid come on and do that, I'll be thinking, fucking hell. Because I think Alan St. Maximin is on thin ice anyway at this club. I don't think he's an Eddie Howe player. Audie says that all the time, and I agree with Audie 100%. He is not an Eddie Howe player, and when he puts in performances like that in big games when you need him, and a young boy comes on and makes him look like an absolute prick, then I think his days are numbered at Newcastle United. So we've got a comment there from Abu saying, one more thing, could you explain who Graham Jones was arguing about with Howe? I think it was Steve Cooper. He was arguing. I think Tyndall was arguing with Steve Cooper. I don't know whether Steve Cooper was kicking off about the yellow card that was given to, I think it might have been Dennis for a foul on Trippier possibly, or Bruno. And he was arguing about that, I think. And, Mad Dog Tyndall's like, he doesn't back down from anybody, mate. So I think he was having a bit of a tete-a-tete with him on the sideline, to be fair. So, yeah, I think it was a little bit of that, mate. Sky were talking about it. Too right, Peter. All hail Isak. I mean, the difference this lad has made has been utterly sensational. It really has since he's come in. This is the sharp Isak that we all want to see. Excuse me, let's have a drink there. This is the sharp Isak that we saw against Liverpool when he come on. He made Van Dijk look like a pub team player. This is the player that we've all been waiting for. The better he becomes, or the sharper he becomes. I mean, it's not just his pace and his goals, his feet. He's whipping it like left to right. He's shoulder swerving players. He's sending them for hot dogs. You don't get that from Callum Wilson. Whether you believe all this noise that's going on social media or whatever about Callum Wilson, I'm not sure Callum Wilson stays here after the summer anyway. I think he's too injury prone. He's getting on too much, and I think we upgrade. And if we do finish in the top four, we 100% upgrade on a number 9 in Callum Wilson's position. But Isak is going to be the man in this team going forward. When he can do things like that, when he's that dynamic and he can finish like he's finished tonight, just totally innovative out the blue like that, that is a £60 million player. That's what you pay the big bucks for. And he is going to go on a scoring run. If he stays fit, he will go on a scoring run and he will absolutely smash this league up to pieces. There's no defender in this league who's looking forward to playing against that kid when he's like that. He's absolutely brilliant. I agree with you, Lee. I think Anderson is exactly what we needed for the second half, and he sped the game up. He made it lively. His pace and his energy was keeping up with Willock and Isak as well, and you need that. You can't carry passengers in this team. John Joe Shelvey for Nottingham Forest tonight. Yes, when he gets on the ball, he's still capable of whipping the ball around, but he's got no legs. He's got no legs, Lieutenant Dan, as they say in Forest Gump. He was fouling Bruno because he couldn't get anywhere near him. He can't keep up with Bruno's play, his speed of play, his thought of play. Shelby couldn't keep up with it. That's why he kept fouling all the time. So for me, we were right to get rid of Shelby when you look at a performance like that. We've got Trolls saying that Maxi may have been injured, but played bad, no doubt. I'm not sure. I mean, if he's injured, he shouldn't play, Trolls, really. But he looked good against Wolves. So what happened tonight? I don't understand it. And when you're a player, you can't put in half-assed performances like that when you're going for Champions League, especially when a young kid comes off the bench and grabs his opportunity. I'm buzzing for Anderson, I really am. And I think, this is the second win for us. We're in a great position, as I said. We're off an international break. Anderson will go off in the warm training camp. He'll be full of confidence. If he wanted to put it in, come back against Manchester United, if Gordon's still missing, if Miggy's still missing, Anderson's got a very good chance of starting that game. And if he puts in a performance like he did tonight, Anderson could do some real damage to Manchester United at St James's Park in front of his home crowd. Who's to say he doesn't get his first goal at St James's Park, and that'll make up for that horrible disallowed goal as well. Peter's also saying that he did very well, but don't forget, we were dominating. We were dominating, absolutely, mate. We were, but he's got to come on and make a difference, so hasn't he? He could have come on and been a bit half-assed, but I think I was just so proud of Anderson. As a young lad coming through the ranks. We need players like that. Sean Longstaff's done a great job to come back from the depths of Bruceness in terms of zapping you of any kind of potential or quality that you have, and just making you into a shit Hull player or shit Sheffield Wednesday player. I know they put us out of the cup, but that's my point I'm getting at. I just wish that Matty, had Eddie Howe earlier on. Matty could have been a much better player. I don't know what the future holds for Matty. Looks like he's probably done, but if Eddie Howe was able to get a hold and coach Matty, who knows what he could do with him. But to see Anderson kicking on like he did there was absolutely class. We've got a comment there from, is that Scofenhadaha? It's late for me, but I'm trying to read that. We've sent Forest fans home in tears. Yeah, they did look devastated. God bless them. Ash is saying that Isak's just in a mint interview on Sky. I love Isak when he gets interviewed. He's just so kind of serious and deadpan, but just so confident, man. Absolutely confident. And just I love him a bit. I just think he's going to be an absolute monster for us. I really do. Eddie Howe said that he's struggling with a hamstring apparently. Well, that's fair enough, because that does prevent a player like him utilising his skills. That shows you how weak the squad is. But I tell you what, I think after the Anderson performance, I really do think Howe will think twice about chucking in injured players like that. Ed is saying that Maxi plays for the big games so he can get a Real Madrid contract. He's got fucking no chance, mate. The only chance he could get to play for Real Madrid is if they made goal 5 and he was in the fucking cast. He's not running as much as Howe wants in case he gets injured. Bit of a selfish dude, but he's got the potential for the big buckles. Yeah, if that's Maxi's remit, mate, then I say fucking good riddance to him. Absolute good riddance to him. You're right, Alan. It was just a massive win, mate. I could not agree with you anymore, mate. Absolutely class. We're going to comment there from Jan saying that Maxi's struggling with the ball, more like it. Yeah, he seems to be. I don't know what he's doing there. I don't know whether this is Eddie Howe in his head saying, I need you to play this way and not that way. And he's maybe throwing him off his natural game, in terms of getting the ball, running at players and committing them. And you see him now, he's trying to look for the pass. And that's good, because that's what Eddie Howe wants. But as Audie says, he's not an Eddie Howe player. So I still think the plan is to get rid of Maxi in the summer. We're still linked to Madison. There's people still talking about Diaby. Those two players look more of a Howe play to me. And I think they're a step up in quality to Maxi. I think Maxi's too inconsistent. So for me, yeah, I might have my tinfoil hat in here, but I say good riddance, to be fair. I'd say get rid. Another one, Simon, saying that Eddie will put up a politically correct cover for Maxi, absolutely, but why play him if he's below par? That's a very good point. It's because the squad's so thin. The squad's so thin. And then we've got a comment there from Everton fan. Thank you, Newcastle United. Not very often the Everton fans have been there thanking us recently, but thanks, Rich. Thanks for tuning in, mate. We've also got a comment there from William saying, if ASM's half as good as you thought he was, someone would have swept in from years ago. No, I totally agree with that. He does think he's a better player than he actually is. We've got one there from Jens saying that ASM has never pulled his weight defensively, not a Howe player. I agree with that. I think over the last few months, we've seen a bit better defensive play from ASM. I think he has bought into a little bit more, but he's always down holding his leg or rolling around, or he's got more bandages than the fucking mummy. And you just think, what the hell is it? If this guy's body ain't capable of playing this type of football, then he's got to go. So same with Shelvey. Shelvey tried his best to play Howe's style of football, got himself really fit and trim, but his legs just couldn't carry him. That Shelvey's game tonight, getting on the ball, whipping it around the corners for players with pace, like Gibbs White and Brennan Johnson. That's Shelvey's game. He couldn't play the way Bruno plays, or Sean plays, or Willock played. Willock was brilliant tonight. Willock's got energy, pace, he's dynamic. He runs at people. I mean, he should have scored in the first half, but he's just missing that final bit, Willock. But Willock has really come onto a game. I was laughing at, was it Carragher was talking about Gibbs White breaking into the England squad, and he should feel unlucky that he didn't get in the England squad. I'm thinking, what, over Joe Willock? Get away and shite Carragher. Gibbs White's nowhere near as good of a player as Joe Willock is with what he can do, especially out on the left as well, which England don't have a lot of players there. Yeah, I look at that comment there actually from Alan. I agree with that. I think maybe a straight swap or Maxi plus cash possibly for Maddison. That could be a deal in the summer, mate. I really do think that could be an option. Lee is saying, get in there, Isak. He was outstanding. Yeah, great result. Well done, Eddie. Absolutely. And he thinks Anderson was bang on too. We've got another comment there from Graham saying, either can't be trusted, but Maxi definitely goes. Maybe Ward-Prowse if Southampton go. I like Ward-Prowse. And there was a stat the other day, I think Ward-Prowse has ran more than any other player in the league in terms of his kilometres covered. So I think Ward-Prowse is a lot more than just a set-piece taker. I'd take Ward-Prowse 100%. And I think Southampton are gone this season. They reek of a team that's just hanging on in the Premier League. Newcastle were that team, Villa, Sunderland, they were them teams as well. And eventually it just runs out, catches up on you, and you go down. I think this is Southampton's year. I think they're done. I think they're gone down. What we've got here? Yeah, how good is Elliot Anderson, by the way, Ash? Absolutely. He looked mint tonight. That's the player we're all excited about doing something. We've got Linus in the comments. Good to see you, Linus. If you're new, smash subscribe, mate. As a Swede who's watched Isak at the national team and all sorts, he is class. I've seen some of the goals he's scored for Sweden, Linus. They're unbelievable. If he can bag a few of them in for us, I'll just be absolutely buzzing. I just hope he doesn't get injured on international duty. Please return Isak to us in one piece, please. Dan's in the comments saying, do we have confirmation of what happened to Maxi, or is it speculation? I just come in the conversation. Yeah, I think it was obviously hooked. Some of the guys are saying Eddie Howe said he was struggling with a hamstring injury, apparently. So, make of that what you will. But Howe might just be towing the politically correct line, as some of the guys have said. Maxi's lost his place, and he looks like a mummy with bandages. Absolutely. And then the Everton fan, Rich, is saying, just got to take something from Chelsea tomorrow. It's a tough game for you. Chelsea can be a bit streaky, Rich. And I think in Dyche, I think you've got a good manager there who can hopefully keep you up, because you've had a rough couple of years in terms of real mismanagement, really. It's I think Dyche is a steady away manager. You're never going to play, world-class football, tick-a-tack and Pep Guardiola style, but Dyche is effective, and if he can keep you up, I think he'll sort you out next season. But yeah, massive game for you, so best of luck in that game, mate. We've got Asher saying Maxi had a hamstring injury. Yeah, we said that before. T for Lee, let's stream Maxi plus cash for one of the Napoli bunch. Yeah, is it Carver? I can't say the whole name. Mark can, I can't. Carver, yeah, he did that. The lad with the socks rolled down, it just looks mint. Dan is saying, I'll be pulling for Southampton tomorrow for sure, though. Yeah, absolutely, mate, absolutely. Yeah, that's the one, Ed. You said the guy's name. Yeah, I can't. How the hell do you even say that? Is it Kvaratskhelia? I can't say it. Mark said it. I think I said it once in a room that has a video. And I had to Google that, that little sound bar where it goes, how do you pronounce that name? And it says it really slowly, phonetically for you. I think that's how I did it. So Ash is saying a few good youth stars in Southampton. Walker, I do like Walker Peters, mate. I do like him, Banzu and Lavia. Walker Peters would be a great shout. Gibbo saying we need a number 6. Ward-Prowse is very much the same as Maddison. So I'd take Maddison. I would take Maddison over Ward-Prowse, I think, as well, because I think Maddison gives you more of a goal threat. I think Ward-Prowse is electric from set pieces. There's no doubt about that. When you get a free kick 30 yards from goal, you're pretty much guaranteed a goal with Ward-Prowse. But I think, Maddison just gives you a bit more in that final third. I do agree with that. Mark is saying that the finishing for the first was sublime. Absolutely. The Isak goal was unbelievable. He's showing his class. Great work from Trips, taking the flat before the pen. I did love that. A little bit of shithousery by Trips, where he had the pen. He was smiling and laughing. I think they were trying to put him off. And then all of a sudden, Isak just grabs the ball off. I did wonder why Isak wasn't taking it in the first place. And he took the pen away so well. He really, really did. Williams helped me out there. So it's Carvera, is it? Carvera. Right, I get that, mate. Lee Kelly is saying that he could see Everton win against Chelsea. Oh, stranger things have happened. Stranger things have happened. Oh, Gibbo has gone right phonetically there. So it's Kvaratskhelia. Is that right? I'll tie myself up in knots there. So there's this John Joe Shelby. I don't think they would whinge as much as it did. I didn't think they'd whinge as much on the pitch. Is that what John Joe Shelby said? Fuck off, John Joe. He did more fouls than I've ever seen a player do in 90 minutes of football, mate. Do me a favour. Peter Waff is saying we need was it a midfield Savage as a CDM? Yeah, so just a bit of a warrior in there. Yeah, a left back and Madison, and I'll be crying with joy in the summer. Well, to be fair, if we finish in the top 4, we're going to need those players anyway. There's no doubt about that. Dan Kane whinge. Yeah, I think it must be John Joe Shelby must have been having a bit of a twist on after the game. But yeah, I mean, it's just Forest weren't great, to be honest with you. They had a couple of threats. I think Johnson looked sharp. He got through once. I was worried about him against Burn, but he only really done Burn once. And then in all fairness, it was a great save by Pope. Gibbs White was busy, but didn't really do anything on the ball. I thought the lads played great in midfield. Bruno looked a lot sharper than he's done in recent weeks, getting on the ball. That ankle didn't seem to trouble him as much today. Sean was okay. He wasn't great. He was okay. But I think Willock was sensational today. I don't think they could do him. I think that's why Ryan Yates went off injured, because Willock absolutely ran him into the ground. And I thought he was brilliant today. If it wasn't for Isak again, getting the 2 goals and being the headline maker, I think Willock's potentially a front runner for man of the match. Ash is saying that saying he had nothing to do with the Trippier penalty ruse. He just didn't have a clue what was happening. Sure he didn't, Ash. That's the beauty of Eddie Howe. He's a shit house, but he does it through a lovely choir boy smile. David is saying that Anderson's going to be a brilliant player. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Ash is saying I don't think we need Victor Osimhen, to be honest. I think Carver will be a better signing. No, I agree with that. Unless we're replacing, Wilson, then you might want to look for another number 9. I think Tammy Abraham's been linked, and I know Vlahovic from Juventus has been linked. I'd take either one of those if Wilson's surplus in the summer. Jordan is saying that Dan Burn is a bit like Marmite, but I think he's underrated. He did well tonight, though, I thought, Dan Burn. I was worried about him tonight, as I said, and I thought he did really well. So fair play to him, And I think he's I don't like him at left back. I would love to see Target back in there, or a proper left back. But you can't argue with the shifts he's putting in against players with real pace. I think what he does is he positions himself very well, but Botman covers him a lot as well. Botman was a bit shaky tonight, I think, with that back pass. It threw him off a little bit. But, he was kind of straight back into it after that, really. I thought Shaw was good as well, bringing the ball out again tonight. Did really well, So yeah, it's I think it was a good performance by the lads overall at the back. Mark said, "Jesus, John Joe, your forwards fell over with the wind. I wouldn't shut up." There was a lot of that. There was a lot of rolling around trying to get free kicks and pens and yellow cards, and no wonder there was 6 minutes added on. Times Nottingham Forest players were hanging all over the place. Just it was a little bit of dark arts going on from Forest. They accuse us of that. Jesus Christ, they were horrendous. Yeah, I agree with that, Peter. Milinkovic Savage, what a player he would be. Imagine him in that midfield. Dan Kane saying the American announcer team were wearing tearing GW apart. He was going down if you blew on him too hard. Absolutely, mate. Yeah, but I mean, the Sky commentators are no better. I think they were hoping that Forest were going to win, actually. I think that you just hear in their voice that little feeling of anticipation that Forest were going to do it. Imagine if Forest win this, they kept saying, fuck off, call the game impartially. Dan's saying Target at left back, and then Sharon Botman, Target need a break. Yeah, Burn covers all 3, absolutely. Will is saying that if he wasn't so injury prone, I'll follow Davies would be a good left back, but he cost a ton, absolutely. And you're right, Peter. I didn't know that Forest were such filthy bastards as well. I thought they were absolutely disgraceful tonight. You're right, Dan. I was talking about Sky. Yes, apologies, mate. I should have known better. I should have low expectations. And we're only 3 points behind Man U, Simon. Love it, mate. Absolutely love it. Admin have just smashed in there. Yeah, if you're enjoying the show, guys, please hit a like on the button. It really helps get around YouTube, and smash a subscribe if you're new to the channel. Come and join us. We love talking about Newcastle United. We try to jump on and do post matches as quick as we can. But that's us, for the international break now. So we're going to jet off to sunny Dubai, and we're going to enjoy the weather, get refreshed. Hopefully, someone like Miggy might get himself back fit. Might miss the Man United game, but then he'll be back for the game after that. Gordon's probably going to be a little bit longer. I think that one's a bit more serious. But like I say, Elliot Anderson will be full of confidence going on that plane over to Dubai after that performance, getting the goal. You can see how everybody was loving how he got the goal. His confidence will grow. He'll feel like he belongs in those players' company even more. And it's just going to give Eddie another option. So yeah, for me, I'm absolutely buzzing on that one. I should just say, he's got a new job as a fantasy sports writer for a US website. Oh, fantastic, Ash, brilliant, mate. Oh, well, drop us the link in there. Drop us a tweet evermore, mate. We'll check that out. That sounds really well done, mate. Absolutely fantastic. John is saying he really likes the look of Lodi. I thought he was okay tonight as well. Yeah, he looked quite handy. I think we were getting obviously not getting much change out of him. I thought he was doing all right in that position. We were linked to him, I think, previously. And it just never came off. Thanks, Gibbo. I am trying to get through a lot of the comments, mate. I'm not even drinking my tea. My tea's going stone cold. That's how dedicated I am to the cause. Dan said Davies is a beast. He crushes it for Canada as well. Absolutely. Ian's in the comments. How you doing, mate? Yeah, what a performance. The officials were horrendous, man. They really were. They might as well have worn Nottingham Forest shirts. Got Kendo saying, hooray. Absolutely, Kendo. Superb. Hit a big thumbs up. Cheers, Lee. Really appreciate that, mate. Peter was saying, can't wait to see the Toon highlights. Absolutely, mate. Josh, I'm just going to watch Isak. Can I just have an Isak cam and just watch how mint he was with his touch and everything? It was absolutely class. We love huge signings who can play a CPL and then get hurt. Absolutely. But hey, as long as Isak doesn't get hurt going forward, mate, we need him. Anderson was robbed. I totally agree with Ian. I felt dead sorry for him. Mark's just saying that's class, Ash. Absolutely. We've got a sensible moniker in the comments as well saying, odd that I'm usually pessimistic, but even with 5 minutes to go, I knew we would win it. See, that's brilliant. You're doing better than me, sensible. I was shitting myself. I thought we were going to lose it or draw. I was getting right pissed off with it. Simon said, Anderson deserved it yet again. Absolutely. He was absolutely class. We've got a great comment there as well from Seymour04. Get in the fucking Looney Tunes. Some performance by the lads. And Forest were dirty bastards. Shelby them up. But I just thought Shelby showed why we got rid of him tonight. As I say, he was just fouling Bruno every chance he got. Bruno knew it was coming as well. He was just suckering him in, waiting for the foul. That's why he didn't complain, Bruno, because he just knew the guy was going to foul him. Yeah, Ash is just saying, cheers, Mark. Oh, yeah, it's been a tough year. Yeah, sorry to hear about your dad, Ash. That's really sad, mate. I can sympathise with that, mate. I lost my mum not too long ago. He decided to take more risks. He put himself in a good position to get better opportunities, mate. That's brilliant. Life's all about risk, mate. No risk, no reward. And, sometimes great things happen to you, Ash, and best of luck with that, mate. That's absolutely class. Peter's saying he screamed on the bus when we scored. Was it the Wenger bus, Peter? I hope it was. We've got Simon saying Grimaldo. Yeah, we've done a rumour has it on Grimaldo, actually. Simon, check that out. It's on the video list. We've got all of his stats there. He looks a class player, I must admit. What a left peg he's got on him too. I'd love him there. Gibbo's saying Big Dan Burns better than Lodi. Absolutely. Graham is saying he jets off for a Caribbean cruise. Very happy and relaxed. Can't wait for coming back home and get stuck into Man United. That sounds like a great option, mate. A great plan you've got on there. I hope you come back to us battering Man United and getting some revenge. Yeah, Jordan saying unlucky again to Anderson. Absolutely, it was a real shitter watching him there. And Lee saying Cooper looked like a Baron Greenback. He does actually look like Baron Greenback from there. I said he looked a bit like remember the guy in Men in Black, Edgar, when his skin's kind of half hanging off his body and he says, "Give me sugar water." That's what I thought he looked like. But we had a great comment in our chat group from Ash, if he's still in the comments, that he said he looks like he's been holding sneezing since year 8, which I thought was just perfect, really, to summarise what Cooper's face looks like. But he would have looked even more pissed off after the final whistle, I'm sure. I didn't see him shake Eddie Howe's hand, actually. I saw his assistants do it, but I didn't see Cooper just before I jumped on. Yeah, Peter, Isak's feet are unbelievable for a big man. He's just his general speed of touch. He flicks it from the left and right. He drops his shoulder, then he's gone. But we're really starting to see the best of Isak, I think, now, which is absolutely class. Just Ash is saying another thanks as well. Yeah, no, we remember that episode, Ash, as well. Yeah, when you tuned in, mate, and everybody was very nice in the comments. We've got a great community here, mate. I'm really glad that helped you through that difficult time, mate, as well. And again, good luck with that writing. Ian's saying that Isak was class and Anderson comes in for Maxi for me. 100%. I think if Miggy's injured and Gordon's injured, Anderson starts that game for me, I think. And I think Howe will reward him for that. I really do. I think he will play him. Yeah, he does. Cooper always looks half asleep. Yeah, he looks like when you wake up after you've been out in the night on the piss, and you wake up about 4 in the morning and you just don't know where you are. He kind of looks a little bit like that, doesn't he? Mark is saying that Anderson and Richie, yeah, Richie looked all right. I thought when he come on, to be fair, lads, I've been the first one to write Richie off, but I thought he looked really, really good. Lee saying Isak is going to be a very special player for us, and Ash is loving the Baron Van Greenback is a great shout, absolutely. Dan said he was thrilled that Trips didn't grab the ball. He thought about it for a second. If Bird was there, clean sheet, absolutely. I think that was all part of the ruse. You could see Tripp's laughing and smiling, didn't he, as well, to be fair. A little bit more on Paul Cooper's face. He looks like he's been managing Scotland for about 20 years, or Sunderland. We've got another comment there from would-be farmer Isak plays bigger than his actual weight. It's so funny, isn't it? Because I think one of the lads in our group said he's got legs like pipe cleaners, but if he keeps doing that, fucking pipe clean away, mate. David Nicholson saying, yeah, just again, we missed Big Joe, Miggy, AG, Murphy, Willock, Isak, Anderson all played a blinder. Do you know what? I've been one of the first people to say that Murphy was shit, but I thought Murphy was sensational again tonight. I thought that's 2 games in a row. Is Murphy the next one that Eddie Howe's performed his scary, managerial magic on, that he's turned a lump of coal into a diamond? Because Murphy just looked classic in the night. Still makes the wrong decision at times, but pace, he was showing for the ball, his touch looks better. So fair play. And I think Murphy's done a good job since he's come in. Jim's saying that he's having to wait for the highlight reel here in Canada. I'm sorry about that, Jim. But listening from this, the ref needs to learn lessons how to control the game. The ref was garbage, Jim. When you see the highlights, mate, you'll absolutely see that he was shit. Just some of the decisions were unbelievable, man. It really, really was. Sensible saying that Isak post-match interview demonstrated that he's up to speed. He gets it, oozes class mentally as well. He does. He just looks so confident, doesn't he? I just love the bloke. I think he's absolutely class. Mark saying that Cooper's an aged John Joe Shelby with a bad hair transplant. Oh, mate, that's terrible. That's terrible. Dan is saying, what channel was his post-match interview? It'll probably be on Sky, I'd imagine, Dan, but the social media for the club are brilliant, sticking interviews back up. So there'll probably be something on there for Isak, because they normally do that. In terms of the interviews after the game. Since Ashley's gone, the social media for the club has ramped up to unbelievable levels. Graham is saying that Isak's sitting on his arse, then doesn't lose the ball, delivers a great ball. Anderson, did you notice how rarely either Bruno or Isak lost the ball? Bruno very rarely loses the ball, and he wins so many free kicks as well. So they're just class. They're absolutely class. Peter's saying that the ref didn't have a yellow in him for Forest most of the game. I agree with that as well, Peter. Some shocking tackles that he let go. I think Ayu's did get a yellow card, I think. He could have snapped Shaw's leg. That was disgraceful. And Shelby had about 15 bad tackles that he should have got a yellow card for. And Jim said, no way you can drop Anderson after that. ASM closer to the door. 100%. I couldn't agree more, guys. I could not agree more. Gibbo was saying post-match would be on the NUFC YouTube. Absolutely. And one more from Lee. Eddie Howe needs a lot of credit for turning Murphy's season around. I don't think that's a wrong shout, to be fair, mate. I think the way Murphy's played, I think he's been brilliant, to be fair. We've got Georgian comments that Anderson looked amazing, would start him way ahead of Maxi on the left. Couldn't agree more with that, mate. I thought he was brilliant, as we've said earlier there. Ryan is saying how Ayew didn't get a yellow on Shaw. He didn't get a yellow, was that right? I couldn't remember if he got one or not. That is disgraceful, that, if he didn't get a yellow. He could have broke his leg. Mark said Bruno won all of his duels tonight. And Ash is right, Bruno is world class. Ian is saying on Sky, Eddie's just said that the ref will have to explain the offside rule to him, as clearly nobody knows what's offside. Great show, mate. Absolutely brilliant show. We've got another comment there from, there's that many comments here. I'm doing my best to keep up with them here. Where are we? Lee is saying Murphy's probably having one-on-ones and training. I agree with you, he probably has. There's certainly been some work done on Murphy. Gibbo said, I better go before I pop. It takes a lot for me to pop, mate. I'm like Pringles. Once I pop, I don't stop. Peter said we're going to build a team around Bruno in the summer. Absolutely. And one more from Simon saying if Shelby was still with us, I think Anderson wouldn't have got his chance. I just don't think Shelby had the legs to play for us anymore. Mate, like I say, we played too fast for Shelby. The game passed him by. Neil saying the officials were shocking poetic justice in the end, but this kind of referee needs looking at. I totally agree with you, mate. For me, it ruins games. It can relegate teams. It can cost titles. It can cost European places. Cost managers their jobs. Speaking of managers their jobs, what the fuck are Crystal Palace playing at, by the way? My God. Getting rid of Vieira and then bringing back, Roy Hodgson. He's as old as that old wifey in the Titanic, isn't he? Fuck me. That is dreadful by Crystal Palace. I'm glad we're not in that state anymore. If I keep reading comments, I'm never going to go to bed. I will do soon, mate. Don't worry. Thanks, Lee. Thank you very much, mate. I'll have a couple of more, then we'll go. So Sean's saying only goals we're giving away stupid errors at the minute. It's weird that, though, isn't it? Because we haven't been making errors at all. So I don't understand why we're suddenly doing them now. It's very strange. Unless teams are just pressing us a bit higher and they're rattling us a little bit. But I just don't know. It's an interesting one. But I think getting away on the summer camp we'll get away. We'll get away from these problems. As Simon says, it's very rare. lapse of conversation, and Botman, he's been sensational, really. You know what I mean? I think we can't be too hard on the lads, because the back four in particular have been class. There have been very little errors. Still got the best defensive record in the league. Ian's saying that Bruno got shit kicked out of him again tonight with no protection from the ref. You're right, Ian. What worries me about that is that Bruno could get really hurt one of these games. Bruno's a tough little bastard. He loves to mix it up, but you keep putting tackles in like that against him, he's going to get hurt. And yeah, for me, it's not good at all. The refs need to sort that shit out. Dan said he hopes for a good night. It's night time here in America, but it must be super late there. Thanks for having us. So thank you for tuning in, Dan. It's only about 10 to 11, mate, so we're going to wrap up pretty soon, mate. So, but thank you very much for jumping in. Edison, Palace looked tough with Vieira. Whole team looked like how he played. Tough to beat. Must be better than Hodgson. Yeah, he will be. I think they'll go off the boil now, and I think the likes of Zaha and that are going to go in the summer. I'd take Zaha personally. I know PK says he doesn't pass the no dickhead policy, but I would definitely take him in a black and white shirt, because I think he'll give you probably more than Max is giving you at the minute. And Botman's just having a few off games. He has been class. He's played a lot of football as well, Ian, hasn't he? So he's probably a little bit burnt out. Harry's saying great character coming from a goal behind. And recovering, absolutely, mate. I couldn't agree more. But that, I think that's us pretty much wrapped up. As you guys say, I'll be here all night if I keep reading these comments. But thank you so much to everybody who's jumped in the comments and tuned in tonight. We're all buzzing. Brilliant result. Like I say, we're fifth. We've got a game in hand on Spurs. We're only 1 point behind. We'll go off to a warm summer camp now. We hope to God that all of our players who are wearing at national duties come back nice and fit, and don't get injured, because that'll just be an absolute travesty if that's to happen. But we'll come back, refresh, recharge, ready to take on Manchester United, hopefully batter them, and then jump ahead of Spurs back into the top four and look good for the Champions League. As I mentioned at the start, if you're new to the channel, if you've just checked us out, great to have you on board tonight. Smash that subscribe button. We'd love you to come and join us. Like the video if you can. Help get it around YouTube. Really helps the channel grow. We'll be back with some more Evermore soon. But what's going on Monday may or may not happen, because I'm away with work, sadly, duty calls for the day job. But we'll try our best to bring you as much content as we possibly can on Evermore. Little comments there, guys. Thank you very much, guys. We'll let you crack on. Time to go to bed. Brilliant 3 points. Let's keep supporting that team of United. We're fifth. Get in. We'll catch you later. Cheers, everyone.